to check. and say hello everyone. Sorry, today with a little delay just because I just had forgot to boost my Discord, so also my Discord members can see that stream in high quality. So hello to everyone. Hi Medi, big love to Iron, and nice golden retriever by the way. Thank you very much, Robin. Well, actually, it's a golden retriever husky mix. That's very special. So if you don't have any time for her, that's really pain in the ass for you, not for her. Hi to Slovenia. Big love to Slovenia as well. So let us start. I would say Bitcoin finally is doing what I was expecting, but I think we are not going to touch 21K anymore. It looks very weak, to be honest. So I think I'm going to close my long, taking a nice profit, and I will start to short step by step. Maybe 40% gain on my long. That's not that bad. Close or not? No, doesn't matter. Let us make our analysis. We need to check the market together as next. Let me open my YouTube window so I can see if we have some problems. Yeah, great. Yeah, okay, perfect. It takes just a minute. I was chilling too much, I guess. Okay, but now it should work. Perfect. So let us start with our Saturday's live stream and check what's happening in the market. To be honest, the last check I did today was a few hours ago. Let us start with, as usual, with our weights ratio 30 days moving average. At least this indicator is not changing every hour, just once per day. And so I know what's happening there. It's declining. Something we had just before. Usually when it's declining, and we need to see if it's going to decline even more, that would mean the preparation are done. And usually afterwards it should start to show some impact to the price action. So it would match actually with my expectations that tomorrow or the day after, so Sunday to Monday or even Monday, we can see some bearish price action. We need to be careful because at the moment Bitcoin looks very weak. They are trying to push up, but they are noticing at the same time the big sell resistance they are getting, and they are failing. So we need to be very careful because I guess they will try more times. I guess they will fail, and at a certain time the bears will start to push the price down. So that's usually what the wealth ratio 30 days moving average is telling us. If we go forward, we can see here, for example, the wealth ratio in 1 hour time frame. It dumped once. That was part of my last daily analysis. We lifted up. Also here, just because the big whales allowed that, because otherwise it wouldn't dump here. So it was well prepared. Cut of demand, so the price declined and afterwards pumped. That was a pump and dump. Some are saying that was driven by FTX. In my opinion, just because of the CBD, it was driven mainly by Bitfenix. The interesting part here is as you know, and I mentioned that on Twitter, we have detected some high leverage short positions on on FTX and Binance at the same time. I think that's just a theory. It's just impossible to prove that, but in my opinion, that was the market maker shorting and or a hedge fund, whatever, maybe someone that is kicking Tether's balls, and in my opinion, that was Tether's intent, just to wreck them, to liquidate them. Something that it seems it happened. I don't know. I didn't see that short position anymore, but it seems they liquidate them. However, it's really strange that they are using FTX and Binance always. It's the same position, and they are doing it again. So we need to see what's going to happen here next. As you see right now, the wealth ratio maintains a level of 89. That's relatively high, but usually when we are touching 100, it's when the pain starts. It's when usually the sell pressure is rising, and usually then the price action starts to show some bearish trends. And if we take a look, for example, here, also very interesting, as mentioned, they dumped the wealth ratio, so they stopped to send some bitcoins to spot exchanges. So the wealth ratio 30 hours moving average declined, started to lift up, declined again, just because we can see here some little declines, and afterwards it started to lift up because it was almost touching 100%, and now it's declining again. Looks like preparation. I was actually noticing big spot inflows, not only related to Bitcoin and the last few days, also related to Ethereum and other alts, Quant, Aeon, Kiar, for example, Tron, I don't know. So it seems they are preparing something. In my opinion, they are done with the preparation. The preparation phase is completed, and we need to see what's going to happen next. The stablecoin supply maintains almost, it's almost still on the same level, so not rising, not indicating fresh new cap is coming into the market. At least that's a net flow. I mean, if we are burning that much like we are minting, it maintains neutral. So maybe new capital is coming in, but all capital is leaving, so it's neutral. It doesn't it doesn't have any positive impact to the market because it's not indicating more money is coming in to pump our bags. The stablecoin reserves on exchanges, for example, has lifted up. Not that big. We are talking about, since 25th to today, I would say something like 600 millions. The question is, we don't know if that's, usually when I see such kind of move, that looks like the exchange is revealing. But however, I mean, we need to know why it's lifting up. If they are expecting bigger demand, that could be one way why they are refilling their exchanges, or just people are just buying alts, for example, converting, their alts, their stablecoins for alts, so their reserves rises. Then we need to see. Maybe there are also, and it's fact. I mean, we see outflows on Bitcoin as well. I mean, nobody is saying that nobody is buying. Of course they are buying. That's not the thing. But the exchange reserves has lifted up just in the last few days, indicating that they are accumulating Bitcoins on the exchanges. I'm not going to talk today about the 100,000 Bitcoin on Binance Cold Wallet, where CZ just said, it's not, we didn't buy those Bitcoins. They didn't. Um, they are not involved in that transaction. If that's the case, someone just deposited 100,000 Bitcoins on Binance. I'm tracking this cold wallet right now, just checking if we see some activity there, but at the moment it looks very quiet. So in the past, just it was, a matter of hours. So they withdraw these Bitcoins from the cold wallet, appeared in the hot wallet, and afterwards we had an impact to the price action. So we would have some time in case, I track them. So in case I see some activity, I will tweet about that and alarm you. Hey, someone is taking 20,000 Bitcoins from the cold wallet right now. So be ready in case of. Let us take a look to the flow activity, and at the moment, the flow activity after yesterday, it was yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. We had a big inflow of almost 9,600 Bitcoins. At the same time, also big stablecoin inflows, but at the same time, outflows. Outflows indicating usually they are selling. So that's, I have checked the correlation why we are getting a lot of stablecoins at the same time we are detecting big stablecoin outflows at the same time. Now I know. I don't know how that works. I think that's also part of an automation or something, but as soon as they detect that they are selling, they send, it seems automatically, in sequences, stable coins to the exchanges to absorb, to buy. So algos are working here. I didn't know that they are so smart also to combine that with stable coins and transactions, but it seems otherwise. I can imagine that one person is just sitting in front of the screen all the time and saying, oh, look, oh, they are selling, come on, I push now with 10 million, because they are not sending 100, 200 million stablecoins at once. They use almost packages of 10 million, 7 million, but more frequently then. It's very interesting. Maybe we can see that if we take, we see right now, for example, here we have, it seems 5 millions. Can we see that here? And they do that. That was a big one with 150, but usually you have such kind of, just as a preparation. So they are seeing, for example, here rising Bitcoin inflows coming in, and then automatically they send some stablecoins to absorb them, like here as well. Like here. So it's very interesting what they are doing. It looks a little bit like coordinated, I don't know, many of you maybe remember with Luna when they have started to buy those Bitcoins to bake their stablecoin. I was tracking them, and I was noticing that someone was sending 3,000 Bitcoins every day to spot exchanges, and that was exactly the same amount that Kwon was buying every day. So, like, making some FOMO, telling people, hey, I'm going to buy a lot of Bitcoins, we will push the price. But no, it didn't have almost zero impact to the price action because someone sent at the same time 3,000 Bitcoins to the spot exchanges and Kwon just bought them. So that was like just a handover, so well. However, at the moment, as mentioned, we see that the stablecoin No, the Bitcoin inflows is declining. It's weakened. We know that. The preparations are, in my opinion, completed. Just in case we start to go down, usually they start to send more Bitcoins or activate more Bitcoins on the exchanges to push even more and more and more, because of course at the same time they will trigger a buy reaction, a buy resistance. So exchanges, whales, whoever will start to buy to absorb all these Bitcoins. And I mean, as soon and as long Bitcoin is declining even more and more in price, they need more Bitcoins to push the price more down, because the attraction for whales to buy the dip, a price below of 20k, is of course rising. So if we are noticing 20, 30, 40,000 Bitcoins, it's not the same like to see those amounts at 40k or 50k, just to make it clear. Less money they need to absorb that much. Okay, just explaining it in other ways. If we check again the stablecoin reserves, it's I mean, the only one that looks here like those, what is that, 52 million US dollars in Tether, or, well, it's stable coins. We don't know if it's Tether. I need to be very careful with my wording, but looks like they want to push up the price. And I mean, we are not talking about a lot, you know. I mean, maybe they make $500 or something just to push Bitcoin by, yeah, I don't know, maybe to 19.7 or something like, and that's it. Or just to absorb the Bitcoins that came in just in the last few hours. That's not big. We are talking here about, well, 3,000 in the last 5 hours. Yeah. Let me check. Well, 3,000 in the last 3 hours, so it would make sense. At the moment, it looks like they want to maintain the price and sideways run. And we will take a look to the CBD just to see if FTX is doing what they did in the past, sideways run and quick accumulation. I'm not going to tell you if they are doing it or not. I'm not going to teaser it, but yeah, it's very interesting. Let us go forward. Well, future trading. Futures, you know, funding rate lifted up very hard, declined very hard, lifted up very hard. It's so crazy. I'm not sure if, well, if we take a look to the blockchain whispers, that's the next step, we will see that even the volume for futures, it's just declining. If we had just few weeks ago another inflow, 31 million X Ripple to Bitstamp. So they are sending alts to spot exchanges as well. However, that the funding rate is reacting so volatile, it could be an indicator that less retailers are trading futures at the moment. So if you are going to, I mean, I don't know how a whale, for example, is going to long. Is he going to long with one position and all in with his budget, or is he spreading it? Because that would be interesting for the open interest. The open interest is not an indicator to show you how big the positions are, just the count of positions. So it would be interesting if, for example, one whale is going just to spend 500 million in one long, it shouldn't have any huge impact to the funding rate, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can tell me, because I'm not sure if the funding rate is also covering that kind of quality. I would say the funding rate is much more covering the count of demand based on longs or shorts. Because, you know, if you have 3,000 retailers just making longs and shorts with $100, and then you have one whale making one long with 500 million, the question if the funding rate is going to, you know, like it did here. Maybe that would explain why the funding rate is so volatile. Less retailers, so less volume, spread by many actors, and just less actors but big volume. I hope you know what I mean. Just in case, I need to open my YouTube in case someone is commenting. So that's very interesting what the funding rate is doing at the moment, while, and you can see the aggregated open interest, it's really low. It's extremely low. So that's, I don't know. And the leverage ratio is rising again, so indicating they are using more leverage. Usually, and we have noticed, I have tweeted about that they are doing it again based on that they are using the same high leverage short positions on FTX and Binance. We will take a look to the Kingfisher just next. So also we should have that in mind. I will make some research because that's not really clear to me if the funding rate reacts based on volume or instead based on count of longs or shorts. So let us take a look. We can take, I need to adjust that. Okay. If we take a look now here to the volume, to the in and outflows related to stablecoins, we can see we received yesterday, for example, almost 280 million in stablecoins to derivative exchanges. But since then, the inflows just declined and the outflows lifted up. 130 million and another 107 million, while just here 80 million, another 70 million. So indicating they are, it seems, taking profit. Also here, that was a very short-term operation, it seems. They sent 18,000 bitcoins to derivative, but at the same hour, so really indicating that was maybe an operation of 1 hour. They withdraw 13,000 Bitcoin and afterwards another 7,600 Bitcoins. So maybe including the gain, what they did. It's very interesting because close before I have started here with the stream, I was actually checking the market maker entities and they surprised me. At least that would explain a lot because I didn't notice any big purchases by the market maker, but his balances lifted up. And I guess he was here, it seems, using their bitcoins or maybe even stablecoins. That's also possible, of course, but we can't, at least I can't track that. I just can track some Bitcoin activities related to him. So it would be very interesting. The last time he did such kind of move, we nuked very hard afterwards because he accumulated bitcoins and they sent them afterwards back to spot exchanges to sell just to push the price down. So, but you know, let us try to be unbiased in that way that, okay, we know he raised its balances. We know we had a big operation yesterday related to Bitcoin collateral futures, and I guess he was involved here. That's the only thing at the moment we can say. Let us take a look to the blockchain whispers, and that's also going to be very interesting. Jesus, Dianon. Good morning from Hawaii. Mughal, can you block this guy? He's in Hawaii. What a motherfucker. Yeah, Hawaii? Are you kidding me? Don't tell me such kind, man. Hawaii. Jesus, what a lucky guy. Hawaii, yeah. Great. Big love to Hawaii, mate. As we see here, Binance, Jesus, I mean, we are talking about 62 to 38%, and that's a very bearish long-short ratio, in my opinion. Even we have much less volume. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we had here more than 2 billions. Now we are talking about the half. 1 billion, that's nothing. And even here, I mean, yes, the shorts, we had 800 million, sometimes even 900 million. We are talking about 675. That's not going to make me happy, because that's indicating that less people are trading even futures, are living the markets. They are not even trading with futures. I mean, of course, if they liquidate you 3 times in a row, I guess the attraction to let you liquidate the 4th time is not that big. Maybe that's also a way why the volume is declining, but that's not good. That's absolutely not good. That's surprising me, to be honest. BitMEX, I don't care. Bitfenix, Jesus, never ever. And well, I mean, for Ethereum at least it looks a little bit better with 56 to 44, but this one, wow, that's really big. So it's almost indicating that 66% or at least 63% of all people are longing. I was longing also, but just I have said, I tweeted about that today and said I'm going to long to trade the swing, just to go up to take some profit from my long to flip to short. And some just tweeted, oh, Inspos longing, be careful, the market doesn't look. I know that. I'm not expecting that we are going to moon tomorrow. I mean, that's, you know. Oh, nuke started, by the way? Really? Wow. Bro, that's not a nuke. What the hell is that? 19.4? They did almost $200? Jesus, mate. That's not a nuke. Sorry. I let us wait to touch 18.5 or something. Okay, let us go to the Kingfisher. That takes a little bit. We have noticed this big high leverage short position, but I will go and, oh, I can take the spin again. Give me a blue, give me a blue, give me a blue, give me a blue, give me a 15 credits. I'm a lucky guy. Yeah, GG. I'm a lucky guy. I really, I don't know. Thank you, Kingfisher. 44 credits. Jesus, that's awesome. So let us go here and check what's happening. Rowan, I read a leaked paper today from Alameda. They said that usually Bitfenix and BitMEX are leading price action and they arbitrage other exchanges. Bitfenix, okay. Bitmix? That's interesting. Just because I was noticing since few months that Bitmax exchange walls sometimes are really accurate. So that's really interesting. Bro, can you send me this leaked papers on Twitter? That would be extremely nice. So let us take a look here and see if we can find any patterns also to related to FTX. Let us make such kind of experiment. That's the biggest. Then here long, here long. Okay, that was not that cool. Let us take here and let us see. So that's Binance. Binance is showing us a high leverage short position, a big one. I don't know that scale. That I don't know. I mean, the Kingfisher needs to work on it because 0.003 million doesn't make any sense. Any sense. Absolutely any sense for me. The scale just before was much better. I don't know what they did. So that's what we can see here. So high level short position directly at 19.2. So if that's the market makers, the big shorter here, they will try everything to protect that position. Then we have another big position here at 29. Usually that should be a position with a leverage of 25 or something, that a leverage of 50 or something, and here longs with a leverage of 25 as well, I guess. So let us take a look now and see if we can find the same on FTX. At least the high leverage short position should appear there. Freya Doc, sure, funding rate has to react to volume. Are you sure? That's, I mean, yeah, I would say it need to because that's the sense of funding rate, but I'm not 100% sure. Are you 100% sure? If that's the case, that would be really interesting because that would be extremely useful. What the hell? So we have the same short and long positions? On Binance and FTX. At least I would say, yeah. I mean, that's the same. Those here are exactly the same. This one and this one. They are in the same position here, but with different volume. At least those both here had the same volume. It's the biggest one. I'm a little bit surprised now. So someone is longing and shorting at the same time on FTX, on Binance. For what? Let us take another exchange. Bybit. Okay, new. Thanks. Yeah, funding rate is just price spread. Okay, at least on Bybit looks different. The question is if it's just different volume. No, I would say it's really absolutely different. Even, yeah. So someone is using Binance and FTX for longs and short positions. Does that make sense? Different actors using, well, yeah, why not? However, less market actors, less volume, but at the same time using different exchanges with big volume and high leverage. That's what we can say. Based on funding rate, based on open interest, based on the liquidation map. That's what I mean. We have a lot of puzzle pieces we just need to bring together. And then step by step, you see more a clear picture what's behind. It's very interesting because that's what I notice as well if I check the chart and the reaction of the price action. If they try to push up, someone is trying to push down. So we have two counterparts, or at least we have two giants. We have on the left side the bulls and we have on the right side the bears. And both are using, at least the bears are very brave because they are using high leverage, something like short positions with a leverage of 50, and the bulls are using, it seems, more volume in longs with a leverage of 25. It could also indicate a little bit their sentiment. So bulls are a little bit more in fear, so they need, such kind of puffer, something like where they say, just in case they want to push down, that they can't wreck me. But that's everything just a theory, just to try to find out the interpretation of what we are seeing here. Very interesting. We should track that. So let us go forward and let us take a look what the market maker and other entities are doing at the moment. So let us start, for example, with the market maker. At the same time, when we have noticed these 9,600 Bitcoin spot inflow, we see a fund flow of almost 17,000 Bitcoins related to the market maker entities. At the same time, we received a huge amount, 18,000 Bitcoins, on derivative exchanges. So, I mean, that's 17,000, it's not 18,000, but we know we had a big inflow to spot exchanges at the same time to derivative exchanges. So it seems the market maker was involved in both sides. While, and we will take a look just next, the exchange reserves on centralized exchanges just rise. So they are accumulating Bitcoins on exchanges. Let me take a look. Well, yeah, that's it. So nothing big happened here anymore. So after that, the fund flow activity, and just to repeat, the fund flow activity just gives you an indication of Bitcoins they send from A to B and then from C to D. It's not telling you if they are sending Bitcoins directly to their wallets or from the wallets to spot exchanges. We need to track them just using spot inflows, just checking the derivative inflows and so on and so forth. And even then, we don't have a clear 100% view. It's also just an interpretation of say, okay, listen, they had a fund flow of 20,000 Bitcoins. At the same moment, we had a spot inflow of 7,000 on spot exchanges, but 13,000 on derivative exchanges, well, you know, that's simple math. So at the moment, they were, in my opinion, preparing. Last time, that's how they started. You remember, they started here with 9,000 bitcoins. It took some days, and afterwards they started to push. They started here to push down with futures, and then they have started here to push down with spot even more. Just to push even more down, more down, more down. It seems they are repeating exactly the same pattern. If we go now and take a look what the market maker did, check. You can see that here. Let me so here, and look, that was surprising me. If we take a look here, we see they had 5,040,000 just before and bought 30,000 bitcoins, or at least their balances lifted up by 30,000. Usually, and that's what they did in the past, if you check here and here and here, is they have started fake rallies with that. So buy, go up, and dump. That's partly why I think, or I was thinking at least, we will see some fake rallies to 21K like last night, for example, and then nuke afterwards. But yeah, we need to see. I mean, what they are doing at the moment. At the moment, at least, doesn't look like accumulation. In case I see they are just pushing up, but because the market maker is an entity, it's very aggressive, and in his trades. So usually, if he is accumulating, he is pushing up, making fake rallies, but accumulating, buying, very aggressive, doing every day 10, 20, 30,000 bitcoins every day. Something that it's not happening, not yet. But we see, for example, these entities with 10 to 100 bitcoins, they are accumulating. They are absolutely accumulating. If they had here in the bottom 5,240,000, now they have 4,270,000. Of course, we are just talking about 30,000 bitcoins, but that's an indication. At least if they maintain and they rise even more, at least these guys are accumulating. That's bullish. Just to make it clear, that could be an indicator that we are at least very close to the bottom. If that means 17.7 double bottom and up, then 17.7 is the bottom. Bottom is in, we go up. Doesn't mean that we can't go lower just, for example, in September. Okay, that just means we will go up, for example, I don't know, to 30K, to 25, whatever it is, to distribute there, to maintain there, and then afterwards in 2 months, for example, even nuke more. So the wording, the bottom is in, sounds a little bit like, so the bottom is in for the next few years. No, it's not going to happen. Otherwise, we need to change the wording. We need to say the local bottom. In my opinion, we are not done. The macroeconomic situation doesn't give us the hope to say the bottom is in, moon afterwards. It's not going to happen. Absolutely not. Interest rates will rise even more. Balance sheets on FED, FED on the Fed. It's going, they are going to reduce them even more. So less capital. They will suck capital from the markets. But we need to be also very, very clear that also markets, equity market, that's a trillion business. They sent trillions of cheap money over the last years to these equity markets. And institutions like Goldman, Deutsche Bank, the big banks are not going to pay the bill at the end of the day. We need to pay the bill. At least that's what they have planned for us. We are hopefully a little bit smarter than the masses, and we will prevent that. And hopefully we will make the same and make a good business. So if they go up, we need to accumulate quick before. We will track them. If we see we will have time, because they are not going just to accumulate 1 week. That takes weeks. If they are going to do that, we will track them, we will detect that, and we will accumulate. We will do exactly the same what these guys are doing. Go up, distribute the top, go down again. That's the only way how we can make money. That's the only, at least the big money. So if we check, for example, the last entity for today, we have the 100 to 1000 Bitcoin entities, and for example, these guys here were looking like accumulation. They accumulated, not that big. I mean, if we check 384, 20,000 Bitcoins, they had even 30,000 and reduced the balance since yesterday by 10,000 Bitcoins. Of course, retailers buying. Something I have said, that's best case for Bitcoin. That's really best case for Bitcoin. Because the whole distribution of Bitcoin was too centralized, too concentrated in few entities. And I don't think that was actually the idea behind Bitcoin. So if they are going to spread Bitcoins to retailers, that's the best case for Bitcoin in my opinion. Maybe Bitcoin will then not make 1 million in 10 years, but it doesn't matter. The functionality behind Bitcoin is the big thing. To be decentralized, just to be safe without to have any control. Well, they can control us just because of the infrastructure, exchanges, and so on and so forth, but not a direct control to your wallet, for example. So let us go forward now and check these CBDs. Oh, well, let me show you. Actually, I have mentioned that spot exchanges. Can we make block? We can make block. So usually when we have a rising reserves on centralized exchanges, that means that exchanges are buying Bitcoins because of a rising demand, or weights are accumulating on centralized exchanges to nuke afterwards, like they did in the past, for example. Sometimes that happens also without, like they did here. But usually if you have such kind of rising reserves on centralized exchanges, that's a nice indicator to see, okay, we are going down afterwards. And something like happened here as well. I can use the price action here, or the price chart. So we had here a local bottom, and we are above, indicating if we had here, for example, 1,014,000 Bitcoins, and now we have 1,023,000 Bitcoins. It means we have almost 10,000 Bitcoins more than just almost 2 weeks before. So that could be at least be an indicator that they have accumulated Bitcoins. We don't know if, for example, they have 30,000. We just know we have accumulated Bitcoins on the exchanges, and it's just a matter of time that they start to sell. So also that doesn't look very bullish, to be honest. Usually I would expect to see a level below of the last local bottom. Now we go forward to the CBDs. And also something that doesn't really look very bearish, in my opinion, is FTX is trading completely different this time. We see the aggregated, if we check, for example, here, we see that the aggregated CBD is lifting up very hard. Usually we need to see if that's Binance. We need to be very careful because the market maker was using Binance. So we see here a positive CBD by 10,000, indicating they are in trend buying more than selling. The opposite happening to FTX. That's something that's wondering me because we are trading a sideways run. And I mean, maybe they are changing a little bit, but what I see here and I was expecting was exactly the same we can see here, FTX lifting up in CBD. Not happening, but it happened in the past just before a nuke. Instead, they are using Bitcoin collaterals, for example, these futures here, too long. It seems that these here are stablecoin collateral futures. They maintain, and the aggregated spot, and we will check what's happening to Bitcoin to Binance. It's lifting up, while FTX declining. It looks a little bit strange, to be honest. Not that bearish, at least if we follow our past and former patterns. We are here on Gemini. Gemini is buying. Not big, absolutely not big. At least the CBD just changed by 300 Bitcoins. And that's not big, but following the trend of the aggregated CBD. If we check Binance, you can see Binance positive, indicating there are more buying than selling. If we check here, not that big, 3,500, but Binance was, at least in the last few months, also a big dump driver. Every time they bought and they sold afterwards. We can see that. Can we go further? No. So for example, here they bought to sell afterwards even more. So it looks very like distribution. Now they are buying. The question is that a quick accumulation to dump afterwards? Something I really can imagine. So of course we have Coinbase, and Coinbase, I just removed the Coinbase chart because it doesn't make any sense for me. They are just only buying. We have Bitfenix here, and if I check, for example, Bitfenix, what they did, and I know many just said to me, yeah, no, FTX was the main driver. Well, what Bitfenix did here was what I would call a classic pump and dump pattern, a pump and dump structure. I show you why. I told they cut the demand. That's why just before the big pump, that's how pump and dump groups work. They are accumulating, hiding their accumulation. They cut their, let me make it different. They cut, for example, their demand, and they price push down. That's what it did, what it does. In my opinion, Bitfenix was trying to push much more up, but they failed. That's my personal opinion. I know many others will say, no, it was FTX. Well, we will check. But if you check what they did, both cut demand, push up. So the same here, accumulating quick, sideways run, cut demand, price push down, up. If we check the timing, It's perfect. It's perfect. If we check FTX, oh, it's perfect. Not the same, but also perfect. Oh, that was looking a little bit different. I thought, at least. Okay, however, it seems both were the drivers. Does that make sense? Oops. Here, let me check. No, okay. I mean, yeah, they triggered, it seems. I don't know what they did here. Let me check what was bigger. So almost CBD 700 Bitcoins. Okay, FTX was bigger, yeah. Bigger volume, it seems. Interesting. Well, it seems FTX and Bitfenix, they did exactly the same. Exactly the same. And then we have here Binance Perp. Well, I mean, Binance Perp was just following the price action, just pushing up, sits here. So not really indicating, for example, that they were, oh, that is, let me check the 30 minutes. Now it makes more sense. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, take a look here. So it was well coordinated by Bitfinex, FTX, Binance, really well coordinated. The timing is perfect. Nobody can tell me that was just coincidence. Yeah, Rowan, if Bitfinex always leads the moves, that explains maybe why ECC is rejecting any kind of application related to spot ETFs and always indicating Tether is the bottleneck, Tether is the bottleneck, Tether is the bottleneck, because Bitfinex is using Tether. And if that's the case, it wouldn't surprise me that institutionals would just kill Tether. Maybe. Another theory is that Tether is preparing the full audit, and they are selling as much as they can just to clean up their books to make the full audit. So, but I don't think so, to be honest. I think that it doesn't matter if they make the audit. In my opinion, for the ECC, the big problem is Tether. They are right now. They mentioned, they announced they are preparing their legislation for stablecoins for end of the year, and I don't think Tether is going to survive that. To be honest, I really, but time will tell. However, next point is exchange walls. And we need to see what's happening here. Let us go to Coinbase and we will see they are here right now trying to protect 19.7 with almost 37.9 Bitcoins, and even here trying also to protect. So bearish, indicating they want to push the price more down. They have, of course, here different walls. We have a little one at 85, but the bigger one at 18. So 18 could be at least related on Coinbase, the next target. Deribit. Interesting. 19.6, 19.8. And even here at 20, still waiting there. Bitstamp. Nothing. Just here at 21.6. Binance Spot. Nothing. Waiting at 18.5 and 18. And just a little wall at 21K. Yeah. Also someone expecting to see a price. I mean, that would be awesome. Just to go up wrecked some shorts. I mean, we don't have many, but some shorts, the big short position, and then down. But, you know, double top, triple, but I think it's not going to happen, it seems. Bitfenix spot, waiting at 18.2, and that's it. Yeah, looks like that's it. FTX perp, oh, waiting at 19. They are not ready to let the price go down. Instead, interesting what they are doing, limiting at 21.6. That's really interesting what they are doing here. Oops. So here at 17. So even if we go down, it seems we are not going to break 19 at the moment, because that's what they did here as well. Kraken, also interesting at 18.8, a lot waiting at 18 and below, and above of 21. So, or at least at 21. So many are, we have two exchanges right now showing the same position at 21. Maybe I'm not that wrong. BitMEX 2300, but nothing big. Usually I see some big walls at BitMEX, but this time that's just, yeah, 24, 25, and 17, so nothing interesting. Bitfenix derivatives, nothing. Kraken futures, nothing. FTX spot, okay, they had a 21 to 100 a wall, but this they removed them. And the next one would be at 17, so something below 18. In my opinion, they are fooling us at the moment. Sideways run until Sunday. And my favorite one, wow. Also here again, 25 and 21. A lot, look that. I mean, that's obvious, isn't it? Also here, but nothing, almost nothing here. And even here, not big. So we have a big concentration here that looks very controlled at the moment. Wow, look that. That's crazy. And here they are pushing, trying to push the price up, but we have at the same time a big pressure from above. If we check and go out and zoom a little bit, we have a big concentration in orders here, but at the same time below of 21.6. So maybe I'm not that wrong. Maybe it will play out and we will go up to 21 before we go down afterwards. At least it wouldn't surprise me, because that's what they did 2 weeks ago. And we had an extended weekend like this weekend, because Monday is holiday, Independence Day in the US. It wouldn't surprise me if they are going to push up tonight, hitting 21K, and afterwards when everybody is, FOMO, YOLO, let us go up, and then it's over. Then they dump afterwards again. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, that's it. Let us take a look. Right now, what's happening? So I think we will retest 19 first and then actually go up. So be careful. Be really careful. Because when you see such kind of formations, they laugh. I don't know why they are doing that, but they love such kinds of trivial crap. Double top, double bottom, or a simple head, well, head and shoulders. I didn't see them for long right now, but it wouldn't surprise me. Go down, bear trap, go up. 21. Many will yell and call, yeah, that was a double bottom. Up, that's it. Bottom is in. Moon next. And then afterwards, boom, down again. So we need to be very careful. Even Cypher, sometimes it's very accurate, indicating me now something like, that looks bearish, while at the same time just before it was looking very bullish, and this time it was right. We need to be very careful. I use Cypher. That's an indicator on TradingView. It's for free. Their developer is selling the payware. You can buy it. It costs Cypher B, C, and I don't know, $1,500 or something. To be honest, sometimes I use that if I need a confirmation. If I see the market looks bearish, but I need the last signal, and then Cypher appears indicating me we are going to go down. That's my, the last confirmation I need sometimes. It's not 100% accurate. I also, just to show you, use CHOP. CHOP was recommended by IT. That's an analyst on Twitter, a friend of mine. He was on my FF tweet today, and he told me he's using CHOP as an indicator for next big moves, dynamic moves. So the CHOP is indicating you close before the price action is getting more dynamic. And it works very fine, to be honest. So I'm using both as a nice setup sometimes, but I don't trade them. I really just use that sometimes as a last confirmation, just to see, I see everything is bearish, but it doesn't look 100% solid. I just need the last piece of the puzzle, and then CHOP and Cypher is very useful. So it wouldn't surprise me, as you see here, if we just, for example, zoom out, look what they are doing. So that's the bearish area. That's at least a little bit more bullish, not that bullish, but, and I have said we have at 19K we have option trading. We didn't talk about option trading yet. I need to. Okay, we will talk about that. 19K we have at 19K we have a gamma wall. We have at 18K a gamma wall, and we have at 20K a gamma wall. Resistance, support, support. So to go up, it's going to be a pain. They did and failed. To go down, it's going to be a challenge. They tried different times and failed as well. And right now we are maintaining a price action that's really neutral. It's not bullish, it's not bearish. It's just, we will see who is going to win. But of course, we are going right now and check the options. And we see 20K, wow, even, yeah, 19K and 80K. They are still very big. Which also are, the 21K is growing, also very interesting. So we have two resistance, that's 20K, 21K, and we have 18K, 90K as support. So the biggest one, the big challenge is to go above of 20K. That's really a big pain. And the next one, let me check. Yeah, and the next one is to break 18 to the downside. So just to break 18, it's possible, but they need a lot of stuff to break it. So it wouldn't surprise me why they are accumulating bitcoins on centralized exchanges. Let us take a look here. Bear call spread. 2 millions? Let me check something. $2 millions? Something from today? No. December. Something big? 25K, 25K, 25K. Well, I mean, yeah, below 25K, okay. He is expecting until December to see a price maintaining below 25K. Well, that's not bullish. That's absolutely, but that would match with the announcement of the Deutsche Bank yesterday. Some analysts just said, for December this year, we are expecting a price of 28K for Bitcoin. And I thought, are you kidding me? That's not bullish. That's 28K. Okay, I mean, compared to the current situation and price level, it's bullish. But 28K? And we have here 19.5, 19.5. That was just part of my last analysis. So, okay, nothing big. We can check if custom strategy is indicating something else. No. For end of July, yeah, that's something like neutral or maybe up, maybe down. I don't know, but I have money. I can spend it. Okay, thank you very much for your services, sir. That's it. That's absolutely it. So be very careful with 18K. We really need to be very careful because they, at the moment, it's so, that area here is just a very neutral zone. And bulls tried to push up, they failed. We are again back in that area here. And we need to cross up or down. Here. That's where we are right now. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to show. Yeah. So that orange zone is not bullish, not bearish. It's nothing. And if it's not accumulating here quick, we know that the aggregated CBD is rising. Usually that means, at least in the last times, Binance nuked with spot as well and futures. But I don't know why FTX it's not doing anything this time. If they are hiding, if they are really just using Binance right now, also possible. I don't know. I really don't know what they are doing. However, this time it looks a little bit different than the last nuke. Because FTX is not involved, it seems. At least not directly. So my expectations, we will go down first, then up, and then even more down afterwards. So let us see if that's going to play out. In my opinion, down, retest here, maybe even a bear trap to 18.8 or something. Retest, go up. And then we need to see what's going to happen here at 20K, because 20K is really hardcore. If they push hard, they can make this triple double top at 21K or 20,800. So go up, fail, and down even more Monday. That's it. I don't know how much time I'm spending here again. Mughal is very quiet. Are you? Mughal is just saying, "Oh, Inspo, you said it again. You are going to reduce it. Come on, man. You are doing it every weekend." I know, man. I know. Yeah, I mean, as long it maintains just, 2 hours, 3 hours, and not 2 or 3 days, I would say it's fine, isn't it? Okay, so yeah. Okay, then let us go forward. Let us take a look to the questions that YouTubers, Discorders, and no, Twitchers not, because we are not checking the Twitch comments. So I'm sorry, guys. Even I'm also using Twitch, but yeah, okay, great. No problem. I take a look to the live stage chat. So let me take a look. Akif Yavuz. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I see here 3 questions only. I'm curious about the liquidation level. Don't you expect a pump? The thing is, usually in the past, exchanges always try to liquidate those liquidation levels. But something is changing. And that matches very well to my theory of institutionals are trading here just because they have a strategy. They have a goal. Nobody knows what the goal is. If it's killing Tether, if it's liquidating silly. I mean, nobody knows exactly what's happening. We just know that the whole conditions of the market and the environment is changing because we have less retailers. I mean, we see that even the volume for future trading is declining, and usually that means that less people or less traders are having a bigger impact to the price action and are really driving the markets. It seems we have two parts here, two parties, the bulls and the bears. Both have different interests and they are fighting. Bulls tried, and I don't know if they liquidate them. I guess even those guys who are shorting with high leverage and big money are using stop loss. The other theory is they are placing this kind of high leverage positions to liquidate them because it's cheaper to use, for example, 5 million US dollars to use a leverage of 30. That means that your impact to the price will be a volume of 150 million instead of 5 million. So it would make sense to instrumental, to use liquidations as an instrument to drive the market, as another source. At the same time, it's you need to buy or sell spot to drive the market as well. I mean, we have the future market, we have the spot market, and how can I say, the price works together for both markets. Jai Mope, turn on the heat map data detector by VIC and set you open interest. Turn on the heat map? I mean, that's not a question, but I don't know exactly what he means. Um, okay, yeah, perfect. Akif, I'm trading both. I'm trading spot and futures. I'm buying altcoins in the local bottoms, making little quick gains of 10%. I'm working then much more with volume, and with futures also different, but also using futures, but only futures only with Bitcoin, not alts. I know I'm missing some gains, but so let me. Yeah, but I don't know exactly what's the point. He wants that I activate open interest future on heat map. Is that right? Well, Abu, do you think this bearish sentiment won't stop until they liquidate Tether after another spot ETF rejection? That's, I mean, you know, I'm I'm consultant. That's in my private life, my profession. I'm advising in the bank sector different banks. I know how they work, and you have more aggressive banks and less aggressive banks. But when they have a strategy, they go straight to achieve the goal. I know that Fidelity, Goldman, JP, and so on and so forth were accumulating Bitcoin at 2018, maybe even earlier, and maybe even a little bit later, um, because they wanted to make a big business with spot ETF. A spot ETF is a multi-billion deal for them. And they can't use all their bags at the moment because of ECC's rejection. And if we check their rejection, ECC is always telling you, we are rejecting your application because the Bitcoin market is manipulated, and they mentioned Tether and stablecoins over and over again. So at the same time, we know that Goldman, for example, had a private meeting with FTX, with Sam, and they talked about possible cooperations together. So we have a lot of information. We don't have the proof. The only one that can confirm my theory is an insider. Hey, Inspo, you are right. I'm the best friend of Sam. Sam told me that exactly what you are telling. It's not going to happen. I don't think so. But as I know how they work, for example, as I know that if TX trade behavior changed, like in the last time, sideways run, accumulation, nuke. That's new. That's something FTX didn't before, but that's a stamp of institutional money. That's banks. That's what banks do to manipulate also equities. And so, a lot of puzzle pieces that matches very well together, but it's just a theory. I don't have on paper someone that's confirming it. So in my opinion, it makes sense that institutionals like Fidelity, Goldman, I mean Fidelity and Citadel are preparing to launch an exchange, a crypto exchange, for example. So they are deeply involved in crypto industry and the infrastructure, and they have a big interest to neutralize any kind of bottleneck. And Tether, at least that's what ECC is telling us, is Tether the bottleneck. So I think, I'm not sure if a full audit is going to change ECC's mind. Banks or those who are nuking the market, they know it, if that's going to change ECC's opinion or not. But if not, they will kill Tether. It's obvious. And it doesn't matter anymore if they are going to bring an audit or 5 attestations or I don't know. They will kill Tether. And they know exactly the impact to kill Tether. They know that. But at the same time, they are so deeply involved in the crypto industry, they are not going to let crypto crash. So it's very simple. I'm not stressed because of that. If Tether disappear, I'm fine with that. Absolutely. So yes, if my theory is right, the whole bearish sentiment will end when Tether is dead. When they liquidate Tether. That's it. Afterwards, spot ETF. Afterwards, mass adoption. And afterwards, you will see the biggest bull runs you have ever seen in your history, in your life. Because that's the consequence. I'm saying that many people are very wrong with me. They think just because I'm very bearish with since last year. I was extremely bullish at the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. Extremely bullish. If you check my Twitter account, you can just set up the search, just make @InspoCrypto and check my tweets from end 2020 or beginning of 2021 until April, May. After May, I flipped completed to bearish. Even in July, when we initiated this scam pump and bull run, I was extremely bearish. And many laughed at me and said, you're a perma bear. No. The problem was the market wasn't looking healthy. The market was looking like a big bubble. The market was expecting spot ETFs all the time. All the time. The whole expectation for 100,000, for 1 million per Bitcoin was only spot ETF. And their rejection in November, that was I don't know if that was the Fidelity application for the spot ETF, they rejected. Also, with the same argumentation, Tether, bottleneck, manipulation, stablecoin. Few weeks later, the general rejection of the spot ETFs in December. But if you check their rejection, I think that was Fidelity. I'm not sure right now. In November, just check when we received their rejection and when we have started to dump. Just check. Maybe just coincidence. I don't think so. I think they have noticed, okay, fuck. We are not getting our spot ETF, so we need to change the strategy and we have to neutralize the problem. In my opinion, that's happening. Black, could be that the guys on FTX Bitfenix are transferring only buying spot on Binance to get more liquidity in case of a very bad nuke, Tether, food, 3AC, Celsius, Voyager, and only using other exchanges for derivatives. I just know that I was using, I don't know how the app, what is the name of the app? I was using an app that was really interesting because it was showing you bot activity on different exchanges. And FTX and Binance matched 1-to-1. So indicating, I don't know if Binance is using FTX or FTX is using Binance, but both algos and both bots are synchronized. While Bitfenix uses Huobi, OKEx, Deribit, and it was another one. I don't know. I have tweeted about that in the past. It was in December, in January or something. Just check it. So I have mentioned that just a few weeks ago when I have detected Tether flows out from Bitfenix. So Bitfenix to unknown, unknown to unknown, exact the same amount, and then unknown to Huobi. I have mentioned just few hours before the pump. I have said, be careful, Bitfenix is sending Tether to Huobi, they will pump. And they did it. Because that's what they are using. It seems, I don't know why, but it seems Bitfenix is not using Binance. They are using different exchanges like FTX, and FTX is using Binance. That's at least my interpretation. Okay, thank you very much. I will try that out. That's very interesting. To be honest, I use Trading Light just really for the exchange walls, but that's really interesting. I know that they are adding more and more features to their app. Thank you very much. That's really interesting. Akif, are you planning to close your long? No, I have a stop loss, just if it triggers. At the moment, I'm using a long and a short. Let me check my long. Oh, I have at least still 27.5% in gain, and my entry is 19,000. So I'm fine with that. And my short is a high volume, but of course less leverage. I have started relatively late with an entry of 19,320. I have almost 4%. I'm in gain. So no, not at the moment. Both have a stop loss in case of. If they push to 21, it will trigger my short. If they go down, it will trigger my long. But I don't care because I will make gain. So let me check. Crypto Mike, what is your absolutely bottom, Inspo? Nice question, mate. My absolutely bottom? It was 24K, bro. I don't have any bottom now. I was calling since last year 24K, 24K, 24K. Like, I'm surprised that we are trading at 19. I don't have any bottom. Let me surprise. I'm just trading the market right now. Checking the metrics, checking options, checking, and then trading. They can't surprise me anymore. If we go down to $500, I'm fine with that. If the bottom is in, I'm fine with that. I don't care. I really don't care. Even on my spot, I have SL. I have stop loss. So in case they start to nuke hard, they will trigger. I will have my gain. I did then, instead of 30%, just 15%, but money is money. It's fine. Everyone has a number. No, not Inspo. I had my number. We crossed that. So I don't have any numbers. My 24K call was just based off the big unfilled CME gap we had at 24K. Now it's done. So I don't have any number. Um, at least the maximum bottom 0. Is that okay for you? I don't think so. No, bro, I'm sorry, but I really don't have any. Mark Müller, do you think they can pump Marat against BT? Marat can pump Marat against BT. I'm not sure what you mean, but yeah, the short ETF is, I mean, the whole situation with future ETFs wasn't the best way for Bitcoin and the whole crypto industry, to be clear. But it was an alternative to make money with that for institutionals. That's what I mean. But they are not stupid. They know that futures ETF, it's not going to work for long because they see the consequences. And they need a catalyst, and the catalyst would be the spot ETF. I was saying also here you can research because I'm never removing any. I was wrong in some statements in the past. You can read that. I never have removed any tweet, so you can check my tweets in the past. I did a lot of analysis based on spot ETF announcement, and I was always saying they are fooling us. They are fooling us. They are fooling us. And many people were saying, no, no, end of the month. No, no, in September. No, no, in October. I said, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because it was obvious that the market was manipulated and driven by few. And that's something that no government, no regulator will let it happen. And that's the consequence. So the future ETF wasn't a great idea, but an alternative. And now, in my opinion, they are working just to neutralize the bottleneck and to bring the spot ETF. And then you will see me extremely bullish on Bitcoin, on Ethereum, on alts, on everything. Because, in my opinion, the crypto market, also the tokenized stocks and everything what banks right now have in mind just to reduce their spendings for regulation, for process management, for a lot of stuff behind what many retailers don't see, of course, but for them, crypto is a huge possibility to make more money in the future with less spendings at the same time, reducing, as mentioned, regulation, spendings, and so on and so forth. So it will take some years. It's not going to happen from one day to another. Okay, patience is always key. And many big stock market wealthy people mentioned you. They bought Apple in the, I don't know when, in the 70s, 80s, I don't remember now. But and they said it was a game of patience. You buy, you maintain and hold. You can buy and sell. That's okay. If you want to accumulate more, sell the top, buy even more the bottom, and then it's fine. But mark my words, when we get spot ETF, when regulation framework is there, when institutional starts to push money to the market, the last bull run of 2021 and 2020 was nothing compared to what we will see afterwards. Nothing. But of course, until then, it's going to be very painful because 2023, in my opinion, it's going to be very, very painful, not only for the crypto market, also for equities. And we need patience. We need to control our emotions. That's really the most important thing. The biggest enemy is not the whale. It's not the price action. It's yourself. Okay, so buy coins with they are useful for the economy. I know some of you love shit coins. I mean, I don't care. I have traded shit coins in the past, but they will not survive the storm in the future. Mark my words. They are not going to survive it. I'm only investing money in coins where I did some research and where I see they have a very strong use case for the economy. I'm not going to invest any money to coins just because they have a nice logo, a cute logo, or a cute name. Or just because on TikTok millions of people are saying, buy, we are going to make you rich. I don't care. It's not going to work. It's just short term. And usually only the developer or the owner is going to become rich, not you. Joker, I see you like strong alts a lot. Curious how many percent of your portfolio will you have in Bitcoin when we reach bottom for accumulation? What a question, dude. I don't know. It depends on the price of Bitcoin. To be honest, if Bitcoin maintains that trend that it's going to spread more to retailers, I can imagine to buy some Bitcoins. It's not going to be a big part of my portfolio at all. I would buy maybe even more Bitcoin Cash than Bitcoin itself, but in case we go down even more, I can imagine to buy some Bitcoins. But I would say 80% of my whole crypto portfolio is invested in altcoins like Quant, Atom, Luxo, Stellar. We have a lot. I mean, Polkadot, also very interesting. Ethereum, I'm not sure yet. I'm replacing Luxo for Ethereum just because Luxo has a special use case with NFTs. I need to update my list. I did a portfolio list last year with, I don't know, 30 coins or something, where I did some research, and they are strong. They are strong and useful for the transition to the modernized economy. We are in a transition at the moment. Every time our economy did a transition, a big transition like a revolution, it was painful every time. But afterwards, those who invested wise, they did a lot of wealth with that. And that's our generation. We have the possibility to make wealth for many generations afterwards if we are smart enough. I'm convinced of that. How do you think about Ethereum? Also, same question. How many percent will you have in Ethereum? Yeah, as mentioned. So I know that many institutionals are using Ethereum infrastructure, so the blockchain. So the European Bank for Investments is doing a huge project with Ethereum blockchain, but they are not bullish on Ethereum itself. And even if we check, and I'm looking forward to see the next Genesis Q2 report that's going to coming in the next hopefully few days. It will show us how strong the demand, the institutional demand is for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because in Q1, the last report in Q1 2022, it was indicating even the Bitcoin demand of institutionals lifted up a little bit, but it declined by 50% since Q1 2021. indicating the demand was declining a lot by institutionals related to Bitcoin. Related to Ethereum, it declined since Q3 2021 as well. So also indicating they are not really interested. At the same time, and I think that was in the report of Q1, it was indicating that institutional demand was more coming to infrastructure coins like Atom, Quant, Fusion, such kind of interpolar blockchain systems that let you trade Bitcoin, Ethereums, and other blockchains at the same time. That's why I'm accumulated Fusion since last year. It just have a supply of 80 millions and it costs 25 cents or something. It's just, and I had a nice chat with the CEO. I have researched a lot about of it. It's a really interesting, and in my opinion, it's going to be a game changer. In the past, even the European Union was mentioning the Fusion blockchain system in their reports of a potential candidate to change the banking sector in the future. But the same as Atom, the same as Quant, and I think this kind of projects will change the game in the future. Quant has 14 million, so even lower supply to Bitcoin, and it costs right now $50 or something. Atom has 200 millions in supply and costs right now $8 or something. And I think these coins are going to be the big milestone in the crypto industry in the future. But as well, projects like Kotti, ANKR, and so on and so forth. We are done. We are done? I think so. Oh, great. Well, SPY will surprise a lot of people. Um, George was mentioning many times we will see a beer rally soon, and so on and so forth. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I said, I don't know. It doesn't look like. But he is really an expert on SPY. I'm absolutely not. But I have some connections, some network, and at the same time, I also check SPY as well. SPY will surprise many in the next 1 week, 2 weeks. At the same time, I'm still convinced DXY will retest the 105 again, will have its breakout, will go up. The question is, will do DXY that first and SPY go up like a rocket afterwards, or SPY first up, DXY will maintain, accumulate, so in a sideways run, and later on go up. That's something I don't know yet, but SPY is going. I don't talk about SPX because Bitcoin doesn't really follow SPX, but it follows in a very accurate manner, for example, SPY. So for me, is SPY much more in my focus than SPX. And SPY is, in my opinion, going to surprise a lot of people. I'm talking about such kind levels of 400. So that's really huge. At the same time, I think that's just a bear rally. Afterwards, it will nuke. And that, at the moment, Bitcoin wasn't looking very strong following SPY. So I'm not sure if, in case that SPY started to make that bear rally, I don't know if Bitcoin is going to follow, to be honest. I really don't know that. That at the moment doesn't look like. So that's it. It is after almost 2 hours. Well, not really. We had a little bit of delay. We need to be 150. Come on, that's not 2 hours. That's okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I take just a look. I see Edmond is writing here. How safe do you think is KuCoin? As I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, KuCoin peer is Tether. If Tether falls, that's the problem. What I see, then also KuCoin could have a big, big, big problem. But I don't know if they have some plans to add more pairs with other stable coins or even make what USDC, so what Coinbase is doing, merging USD with USDC in the same pool. I don't know. I really don't know. So, like Mo just said in the YouTube channel, so guys, Q&A is closed now. So thank you very much for watching. Now it's time to rest and to enjoy the next, well, the next day. It's not, unfortunately we are not in the US, so we can't say the next few days. However, it was a big pleasure for me. A big, big love to all of you. I hope you enjoyed. And Monday, of course, I will keep you updated on Twitter in case I see something that is useful for us. Mm, as mentioned, I would like to see a retest of 19, 18.8 and then go up. That could be just a bear trap then. So keep in mind that. Big love to all of you. Have a nice weekend. Enjoy it. Bye bye.